When you compare, you despair. The topic of conversation today is about comparing. Comparing yourself to others and how toxic it can be and how it can put a kink in the hose that stops you from your manifestations. But before I get going, I'm Tanya Black-Rose from Rich Results Mindsets, and look, I'm all about helping you master your mind so you can master your life. So the topic today is comparison, and I have recently become aware of what comparison does to me, that I thought, oh my goodness, I have to make a video to support anyone else who is in that unconscious habit of comparing themselves to others. And the reason why I call it toxic is because you can go down a real rabbit hole if you're constantly comparing yourself to others. You kind of devalue yourself in the world when you're constantly living from the outside in. And remember, we've all been programmed to live our lives from the outside in through our five senses. And of course, we live in a world where we're bombarded day in, day out with so much information on social media, as well as on the television, as well as through other people, whether they are friends, acquaintances, or maybe at a networking event, where we're constantly bombarded with information about how we could be doing better. But often we can unconsciously get caught up in measuring ourselves to where someone else is with that product or service and where we're not. And when we do that, we kind of lose faith in ourselves. We lose faith in believing in ourselves because we're measuring ourselves against someone else's level of success, whether it's with weight, whether it's with more money, whether it's with a different lifestyle, a different body. We're measuring ourselves and then looking at where we are and where they are. And then, of course, when we discover very quickly, in a blink of an eyelid, that we are not where they are, then we make ourselves wrong. We really devalue ourselves. And this is such a cruel way to live. It's almost like it's abuse when we constantly are making ourselves wrong, because we're really reinforcing the belief that I'm not enough, I'm not doing enough, and there isn't enough. And so the first place to start is to stop comparing yourself. Because when you compare yourself, what happens is you lose your connection to a power greater than yourself. You tend to be going along your merry way. You're sitting on a delicious frequency, and then you'll see someone else who's got what you would love or is doing something that you would love to be doing, and suddenly you take a dip in the valley and you drop your frequency right down. And so you end up on a lower frequency. If you think of the emotional scale, I mean, guilt and shame is at the lowest level of the emotional scale, a Hawkins emotional scale. That's the worst place to be. So you really have to give yourself a command now and follow through. Really discipline your mind to stop comparing. Look, it's just a habit. And of course, it's going to be a hard habit to let go of, because we're being conditioned all the time to try and improve ourselves. But I want to let you know it's a dangerous place to be, because every time you take a dip in the valley, you sit on that lower vibrational state, and of course you don't attract, right? You can't attract when you're full of guilt and shame or anger, because you are not where you want to be. So you need to stop this habit immediately. The only person you should be comparing yourself to is you. And seeing how you can get 1%, just 1% better every day. That's all you need to be competing with, right? And of course, our greatest work here while we're on planet Earth is for our soul's evolution. So really, we're here just to realize our full potential. ours, no one else's, just ours. You know, how can I become the best version of myself without losing myself by comparing myself to other people? So I have discovered that the despairing, that feeling of less than, goes away when you break the habit of comparing. And you also start to, when you stop the comparing, you can then start to really listen to the still small voice inside of you, your intuition that's helping you get from A to B. If only we would stop looking at how other people got from A to B. That you just get back, as I say, in your lane, in your hula hoop, stay there and keep praying for guidance for your manifestations. That's really what needs to be done, is to stop the comparing game. And I promise you this, the moment you can stop the comparing game, you're going to have so much more serenity. You're going to feel so much more peace of mind. You are going to actually calm down your nervous system. You're going to feel more relaxed. You're not in fear or flight all the time, trying to, go to battle to meet someone else's results. I mean, the results anyway are up to God. Your only work is to manage yourself and your activities every single day. And when you start to just work on yourself, then everything else around you starts to quieten down. You're not really worried what anyone else is doing, because you are just focused on yourself, doing your best every day to become the best version of yourself and make a contribution to the world based on the intuitive leads that God sends you. But you can't hear them unless you stop the comparing game. So I'd love to hear from you if this conversation has resonated with you, and share your thoughts. Share your thoughts, how you have stopped the comparing game so you can help others. Because I do know this, that this world is not getting quieter. It's getting louder and busier. And if we don't take good care of ourselves and look after ourselves in so many different ways of self-care, then we are going to continually live in a place of fear, doubt, and worry, and never manifest our manifestations, because we're constantly in that lower frequency of guilt, shame, and anger, because we are comparing ourselves to others. So if any of my content is resonating with you, then I'd love it if you would share it with someone else. Love it if you would comment. Oh, and I would be most appreciative if you would subscribe, because I'm all about helping grow this channel so that everyone can master their minds so they can master their lives. I'll see you soon for the next conversation.